All right, well, we're so excited to be here speaking with you guys today. So this is Kayla Carey from Rookery Flower Co. in Frankfort, and she's one of the co-owners of the Kentucky Flower Market.
This is Sarah Torgerson of Eden Roots Flower Farm. She is the other half of the ownership of the KFM, and we run this thing.
Yeah, so we started this market back in May. So this was our first year, and we're excited to talk about it and kind of introduce the idea of collective selling if it's not something that you guys are familiar with. So first, we want to start out with our mission statement. So the Kentucky Flower Market exists to promote flower farming as a sustainable and legitimate profession through creating increased sales opportunities, offloading redundant tasks, and providing education and fostering community among all of us growers and designers. And for the designers that we serve, we hope to increase their commitment to buying locally grown, which supports our economies, ecosystems, and the sustainable floral design movement at large. And we are values driven. So we're seeking to provide an exceptional sales experience for our growers and for our designers.
Yes. Don't hit it again here. Just like a show of hands, has anybody heard of a collective, co-op, flower collective? Oh. Yes. So it's not foreign. I wanted to make it like very bare bones on what a collective is, because even myself, I explain it to people and it's kind of just like an ongoing long explanation. So you take it down to the bare minimum.
I ruined it.
And it's pooling resources. We're all using our own individual resources, but what happens if we can kind of smash them all together and work together? And just a note about small flower farms. Since 2010, which also correlates with the launch of Instagram and Pinterest, flowers have been on the rise. Local flowers have been on the rise. People see these amazing photos and like, what? But the majority of floriculture operations since 2010, according to the USDA farm census, are classified as small farms like us, like most of us. I mean, I can speak for myself and our growers, and they're all small. Okay. So right now, if you're a grower, which is the pink lady with the pitchfork, you might be selling wholesale to a florist, or maybe you have like a hookup with a good wedding designer and they come to you. So as a small farmer, you're managing several different relationships. And who said it earlier? Somebody said it earlier that an average relationship a grower would have maybe 2 to 5 relationships with your outlets. So that's a lot of managing of relationships, period. Communication, email, not to mention delivering. Everybody is doing this separately, and there might be some overlap. These two ladies are going to the same place. They're delivering the same place. They're doing the same steps. So this is a fragmented marketplace that is kind of like the going thing for a small, flower farmer like us. This is what it would look like if flower farmers joined into a collective like ours. We're taking care of the whole part that has to do with selling the actual flower. You all are getting to focus on production over marketing, whatever, all the business things that we have to do. I mean, just talking to one designer or florist, getting their needs, just the correspondence on email or phone takes a lot of time out of your day. I mean, it does for me. And so this kind of funnels everything, and we're only delivering in one vehicle, or we're only fulfilling in one way. Not everybody's having to do that separately. So that's kind of like visually, we're all working together here. What else did it say? That's good.
Maybe that. Okay. So kind of talking a little bit more through that. So we saw kind of the fragmented marketplace, how the goal is for the collective to bring organization, streamlining, kind of decreasing some of that redundancy in those tasks. So what we do, and what generally the market managers of any collective will do, is handle a lot of marketing. So a lot of designer outreach, building those relationships, maintaining those relationships, those kind of things. Any kind of logistical things, setting up pickups, deliveries, any of those little nuanced details, managing relationships with the buyers. So that can get into like quality control stuff, assessing their needs. Maybe they're looking for something specific, and so we help source that. Order management. So Kayla's going to talk a little bit about this, but we use a platform created specifically for flower growers called Rooted Farmers. Has anyone heard of them? We love them so much, and it's so easy. So we use that system to kind of manage everything. Then we have a delivery driver that we pay to drive to kind of this huge radius of Louisville, Lexington area that would kind of be painful for one of us to do, or for all of our growers to be driving to all of those places. Pricing guidance. So we spend a lot of time on pricing guidance because we all know that this is a very challenging thing and there's a lot of fluctuation and changes there. So what we decided to do with our market is we set a pricing guidance sheet. So basically for the most common crops that we sell, we've listed kind of like a low end of the price range and a high end of the price range that we have seen through different resources that we have researched. So our local wholesaler doesn't really release their list, but we do find out some of their pricing. And then we have some other wholesalers that we double check, and then just through our own experience, through talking to other flower farmers and other designers and seeing what they do think is reasonable. Because we want that price to be fair for our designers, and we want it to be fair for the growers too. We want everyone to feel like they're not being taken advantage of. So we do give that guidance. And then quality control. So even if you are growing flowers, then knowing when to harvest and when to cut and how to present it and what does the designer want is truly a whole other specialty, truly. And so we're able to provide some of that education, and we're learning from other growers who are more experienced. And so when you bring all of that product into one place, you can see, hey, this bunch looks way different than this bunch. And then you can take photos, and that's a moment where you can educate a grower or educate yourself and say, oh, that's what that should have looked like. Because it's not always easy to find what that presentation should be. So that is something that kind of working together, that's kind of another role that we can fill. You'll get into the benefits, but one thing that if a designer has placed an order and then we find out, oh, that crop failed or so-and-so had an issue here, then we're gonna look to replace that. So we just try and take on any of those stress tasks and do it for the growers that we work with.
I'm partial to the collective, obviously. So I think it's great. And for someone, and just to, for personal anecdote, I work full time. Sarah full time mothers her children and brings all of them up. And I know probably a lot of you all are also have off-farm jobs because, you can't just make it all of a sudden being a farmer. So for me, saving all my time, it's invaluable to not have to do all these things. Well, I'm doing them now for other people, so it's different. The benefits of selling collectively: increased supply. When designers go to look for flowers, they might be really wanting to shop local, but if there's not enough there, and if you're just one single farm, you cannot reach their needs. So the collective really comes in because if we had enough volume in the shop, which I'll explain what that looks like, then we might be able to service a whole wedding. And think about how much that is, how many stems that is. And that's all because we can pull from however many farmers we have in our collective. It's a time saver, just like I said. We're doing all that communication. We're dealing with those rough people via email that might be a little picky. We're taking requests possibly from designers for things that are farther out and trying to source these things. My favorite part of the collective is the community. I mean, I've met the coolest people being a part of this, and I've learned so much as a grower, as a business person, as anything you can do with flowers I've grown in. Sarah's going to talk about this, but in a collective you can expand your farm's reach. We've made contacts with designers through whatever outlets we have that now everybody gets to enjoy. And if somebody else is growing with us and they want to bring one of their relationships on board, then again, those relationships just maximize on both ends. Like Sarah said before, education, we get to give out stuff that we've learned to our people. That's great. You don't have to go looking for that, especially if it's specific to wholesale selling. rooted, the platform that we use to sell, they are hugely data driven. So we get to use that data and plan for our next year's crops, which I think is super valuable because sometimes it's hard to know what you want to do. You might like some things, but what would be lucrative to your farm? Another favorite, helps reduce farmer burnout, which everybody knows is a real true issue. And so if you can offload those things, wouldn't it make your life easier? And we sell more when we sell together. There's this crazy mindset. It's not crazy. So that's not crazy. It's just traditional at this point that we need to compete with our neighbors. But when we come together, everybody benefits in so many ways. Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah.
So we thought it might be interesting to kind of go through some legitimate numbers. Do you guys like seeing numbers, talking about money?
It can be scary.
I think I'm always like, what is someone supposed to make? Or like what? Anyway, I don't know. So I thought it might be fun to just kind of break down some numbers. So I thought I would share mine. This is very, very vulnerable to share my numbers with you. So I moved to the area in 2020. So I had a 28-week season. I sold to 13 designers. This is strictly wholesale. I had 25 orders, and the average was $58 an order. Now, talking about the average per order probably isn't really that important because you have outliers and whatever, but it's on there. And then, so that averaged out to about $52 a week. I made what, $14.67. So that's not going to blow anybody's socks off. Then 2021, year two, I increased my designers. I got new customers. I more than doubled my orders. My average order went up, and I made $183 a week. So that was $51.32. So now we have 2022. So this is only my sales through the Kentucky flower market. So doesn't include anything else. We also started the market in May. So we missed sweet peas, poppies, tulips. Most of my ranunculus, tulips. We missed some really high dollar stuff. So, but in those 24 weeks, I sold to 44 designers. And 28 of them were new. These are people that I'd never even heard of. Some of them just found us. We found some of them. Some of you are in here, actually, maybe. And then I sold 141 orders, average of $47 an order, which is whatever. But then that came out to $276 a week. So my weekly sales went up. The reason I wanted to leave the average order on here is just to show, like, if you think about it, I think I've had moments in flower farming where you like drive across town early on and you deliver like $20 worth of poppies. And then you're like, why did I do this? This is not sustainable. And that order is kind of a pain, or even someone come into your house and you're like, $20. But when you are selling in this model, those $20 orders actually do mean something, because all you're doing is you're driving to that one hub to drop everything. And so people can do $20 orders all day long. It doesn't bother me anymore because I'm not driving 3 kids across town and, you know, in the heat, pregnant or whatever. So if any of you all have been there. Okay, so to break that down, Alexa said percentages are fun for people to see. So that was an 100% increase in designers reached, if my math is correct. Ooh. And then a 50% growth in weekly sales from 21 to 22, and a 30% increase in annual wholesale sales strictly through the market in 4 weeks less time. So I think that's great. I felt good about that in the end, and I know we can do better, and I'm pretty competitive, so I'm going to beat it next year. Okay, I also wanted to talk about one other farm that sold with us this past year. So this is a farm called Savvy Acres. They're in Shelby County, and I now love this person. Her name is Shelly. So she was also new to Shelby County. She grows in a small flat. This was her very first year selling wholesale. So she'd never sold to designers, had 0 contacts. And through selling with us, she reached 15 designers. All of those were new customers. And she only posted her inventory for 7 weeks. And she only had Amaranth, Celosia, and Cosmos. And she sold 24 orders of those 3 things for a total of $691.50. And I think that's pretty cool for a new grower who has never done any of that.
And she only had to drive to drop off seven times.
Yes.
Which in my mind is like, what?
Yeah, and she kind of like, people loved her solutions. It was awesome. It was a win-win for everybody. Okay.
And before I do this, very quickly, just to give you like an overview of what the market, when we say the market and what that means, our growers post their inventory on like Wednesday. We open the shop online, and I'll show you what that looks like. By designers, retail, whoever can get on there and shop, and they have all the way through Monday at like whatever 5 or whatever we set it at. And so then Monday evening, our growers get their harvest list. So they have Monday night and all day, and depending on what they do, on Tuesday to harvest as well. So one plus there is the designers are getting like the freshest thing because they're picking up on Wednesday or we're delivering on Wednesday. So they harvest Monday, Tuesday. Growers bring their inventory to us. We get it all ready, and then we fulfill it whichever way the person has decided. So, I mean, it's very like straightforward. But the online thing is the best. Our year one takeaways. Somebody else was talking about the florist survey. White, blush, and green. That's like the biggest thing you can take away from this talk if you don't take anything else away. If you're going to grow white, blush, and foliage. If you think you have enough foliage, you need to grow 100 times more of that. We learned from Jenny Love, you all know that. We got to go to a workshop where she was attending, and she, right out of the gate, screamed that we need to have 10 bunches in inventory for a designer to give us a look. So we need volume. We need volume from our growers. Photos matter. This is an online platform. Think about how much photos influence when you buy something, which we all buying stuff online, and the photos matter. There's no perfect price. We've worked a lot to find a price for our area and something that growers and buyers can kind of agree on. If you build it, designers that you didn't even know will come and shop from you. The power of social media. And as always, community over competition. We need to dispel that misconception that we need to compete with our other flower homies. We need to come together.
Oh, I'm just doing it the wrong way.
This is gonna be shaky because I did it.
It's gonna keep coming.
This is just the way rooted looks. So if you just want to get like a glimpse of what we're talking about when we talk about rooted farmers.
Do I go again?
Yeah, maybe. Hit play.
On this? Oh.
It says something about introducing. Okay. You want me to go?
Oh, maybe
It's just
you
supposed to play
play.
this YouTube thing.
Hold on just a second.
Oh, boy. I might have done it.
Okay, here, we'll get to it. Hold on just a second. Okay, now let's just wait and see if it goes. Because it was moving.
Oh, the little bar.
I thought it said introducing. Okay, let me click one more time.
Oh, which thing should I click?
Just hit,
The arrow?
yeah.
Oh.
You can come look at my computer view. But basically, it's an online platform. It's very clean. It's very slick. It will show you our collective and all of our growers who've posted underneath of it. And it's just beautiful photos, quick descriptions. It's got stem length. It's got quantity. It's got the price. It's basically just your regular shopping experience but it's flowers. You put them in your cart and then you check out. And you pick how you want it to be fulfilled. It's very streamlined. They've done a really great job. So my point here is it's very easy to use. Like my grandma could probably use it. And that's kind of where I was going with that.
Hey, I think I might be able to get it if you'll just keep talking.
Yeah, we can talk
Okay.
about something else,
Okay.
and that can just be up there.
Oh, yeah.
Oops.
Can we move to another slide? Oh,
Oh,
there
it
it is.
And this is just me clicking around playing with it, but you can see this is the Alaska Peony Collective. Obviously, we don't have flowers up right now because we're out of season. But you just add it to your cart. You can come over here and you can look at all your colors. You can shop by color, which is great. You'll see me click on some stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is what it looks. I don't know if you can see it from where you are, but down here it shows who sells it. So if it's Rookery Flower Co., it would say Rookery Flower Co. So you're represented as a grower. I don't know what I was doing that day.
That's new that you can shop by the color for the designers.
Right.
Yeah, you can shop by pretty much anything. You click on the photo, it's beautiful. I'm gonna continue down and look at more stuff. Yeah, and you'll see me just put it in the cart, so you can get an idea. It's just it's like an online shopping experience.
Really, really super easy.
Very easy.
Designers have really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of great feedback. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a description because we need to talk about what the colors actually look like in real life because we are working with photos. Stemly, how much is in the bunch?
So how do y'all get some of that info there? Do they give it to you, the grower?
Some of the like standard info on like the names and stuff will be already loaded into Rooted. The description would be something a grower would put in.
Gotcha.
So you need to take a nice photo, upload it, tell me how long the stem is, if it's something exceptional, write that it's exceptional that you think, or if it's short, it's good for boutonniere work, or the possibilities are endless on what kind of explanation you give.
And you can shop by bouquet too, not just by the bunch.
Right, on Rooted you can do you can make market bouquets, we can sell dried, you can sell wholesale, you can sell buckets, wreaths, there's several options for other things.
But yeah, the grower puts in the picture, the height, you can put bloom size, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, here I am with my cart.
Yeah, you put in your payments and everything.
Yeah, and mine's already loaded in there, so literally if I knew what I really wanted and I had already looked, I could just go boom, 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 done.
So,
it shouldn't take that long.
So whenever you make your card out as a designer or something, then they get a notification about when to pick up?
Yeah, it shoots to the grower and say, hey, somebody wants this. So whenever you go out and harvest, you're harvesting stuff that's already pre-sold, which is nice. It feels really good when you do that. Yeah.
Makes your soul happy.
Makes your soul happy. So yeah,
Good
if you want to know more about Rooted, just holler at us. But they're great and they're very supportive. We've talked with them on Zoom a lot and they're great. On to the next thing. We would like,
Oh.
I can just say
There
it.
we go.
Okay, now do it.
Oh,
We would like to
interesting.
introduce a new flower collective that is popping up in this area. Oh, that's not cute. That was better before.
There we go. No, that's great.
Well, that's over there. And they're here in the audience. Emily and Jennifer from Free to Tease, they reached out to us and they wanted to start their own collective in this area because there's a need. They see a need for it. So they're actually starting up the season and are taking grower interest. So they're gonna have did you all raise your hands already? Everybody go look over there. There they are. Emily and Jennifer, yeah.
To sign up to get information. We also have some flyers. We're planning to have a growers meeting 2 weeks from today in Bowling Green. Just everybody come together. Nothing is set in stone. There's lots of different business models that can put together. We just want to talk with everyone and make sure that there is the interest that we think there is and see how we can move forward with this.
Yeah, and we're very excited for them and we're working
Yeah,
with
they're
them
amazing.
with what we know. So it's gonna be great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did everyone on this side hear that too? Okay. All right.
And then just follow us.
Follow along on our journey.
See what we're up to.
Oh yeah, should we say some updates we have? We have a brick and mortar location that we're opening in 2023 to make the shopping experience a little bit easy. It has been at my farm, so it'll be nice to have a little bit of separation there. And then we have been fortunate to receive some amazing grants, so we're so thankful and we're excited about the next few years and continuing to build the community. So yeah, if you want to follow along, if you have any questions you want to shoot to us, do it anytime. And if you have any questions now, we would love to answer those.
5 minutes, ladies.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not a question, it's just about Rooted.
Yeah.
You almost need to set up 2 profiles, one as a buyer, because if you set up a buyer profile, then you can look at other things and look at other prices. If you don't set up a buyer profile, then as a vendor, you can't really see the prices of other things to know if you're within the range. Does that make sense?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, and we also send out our pricing guide, which hopefully helps with that. But it is nice to see who else has got what as a grower in the shop. Because sometimes I have stuff out there and I'm like, oh, it's probably not, maybe nobody wants that. And then somebody's posted it, I'm like, well, I'll post it then. So yeah.
That's a good point. Thanks, Lisa.
Anybody else have any questions?
I may have missed it. Where did you say you're located?
We did not tell you.
Oh.
It's based out of. I like made a note that we didn't say because you said to the location.
We're in
Simpsonville.
Yeah.
I'm out of Frankfort, so we
Just
kind
outside
of that
Louisville.
area.
And
Yeah,
we're kind of
Lexington,
Lexington, and everywhere in between. So it's an important detail.
Yeah, it's not here. That's them.
So if anyone is kind of within our radius, feel free to reach out to us. We're about to open our grower application up again as well if you're not in the Bowling Green area. So
What is that radius?
yeah, so we consider it about 60 miles, but it also kind of just depends on what's worth it for the grower. So if you're selling really large volumes and it's worth your time to drive, then that's great with us. So yeah.
So do you get a certain percentage of the order, or how does that work?
Mhm.
Yes. So the market takes 25%. So 3% of that goes towards the credit card processing fees. That will just happen anywhere. 5% goes to the Rooted Farmers platform. And so then the market has 17%, and that helps
Run the market.
run the market. So that will go towards rent, paying market manager, that kind of stuff. And then it usually is still needed for the delivery driver and that kind of stuff, even though we charge delivery fees. So we would love for that to be lower, but that's what it is right now. You had a question?
So the growers have a choice what to sell on the market and what not to sell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if you bring in something that's like maybe doesn't pass like a quality standard, we might be like, hey, like this is what it should look like, you know, or maybe you harvest it at the wrong time. Like we can say like this doesn't cut it, but we've rarely really had that happen.
Yeah.
The point of Rooted is to explain very well what your product looks like so that when they buy it, they know exactly what they're getting. And so if it's short, just write that on there. You know, you can still sell short stuff.
Sorry, I'm gonna expand one more time on Rooted. With Rooted, you can when you set up your inventory, you can set it up as you, the individual. So if you already have existing clients and they think that platform is the best way for them to order, they can order through you, or they can go through the Kentucky Flower Market and look if they, have a bigger order to put together, or they can find you through the Kentucky Flower Market. So you really can set up that customization for however you want to sell on the platform. The platform is great because you can put as much or as little of your inventory on there that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So the pictures that you showed on Rooted show the flowers all bloom and pretty, right? So is that the way you want to bring them to the drop-off?
Not
Depends.
necessarily. Yeah, it can depend on if a designer says, if you know it's for event work or something and a designer wants them open, they can put a note, or we could clarify that. Generally, you do want the picture to show what the product will be. So, I mean, you can post a picture of a closed peony, or you could post a picture of an open. So you can really do it either way, but you still wouldn't want to bring the open peony to market.
Yeah, and I think that was Alaska Peony Cooperative. That's their way of showing their product because they do send them shut. This has the background taken off of it. This is a photo I took that was posted on Rooted as a flower picture to sell. So, I mean, like it just depends on what it is. I think that if it is something that bloomed, you would want to show it bloomed.
Yeah, like what a tulip
What it
would
would
be.
look like.
It would be helpful for a designer to know what's that going to look like when it opens.
Yeah, but dahlias, that's just how
It's
you
probably best, to have it open. But that's not necessarily how you bring it. If that answers your question.
We've got time for one more question.
Was
Anybody's
there
got it.
someone in did you have one? Oh, you were stretching?
Stop stretching, Tara.
Yes.
Where do you guys deliver for pickup for florists who are interested in purchasing? Where would a florist go to pick up their
Oh.
order?
So in Simpsonville, so it's going to be at a brick and mortar location in Simpsonville is where they will pick up.
It's right off 64.
Right off 64, very convenient. But then we deliver kind of all over the place. Well, we're actually going to try to have a Lexington pickup as well.
But we deliver, you can set on Rooted, like if they're closer to us, we'd have a smaller delivery fee. And then if they're farther, then we would change, customize the delivery fee.
We like the pickups because then the designers come in and any extras that you have the opportunity to do like more impulse buys, and you can sell a lot that way too. So we do love it when people want to come pick up, but designers also really love delivery. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, y'all give them a round of applause.
Thank you. You're so sweet.